And you're just in time for Business Glide, your go-to point on matters public policy analysis, business and economics at large, hosted by yours truly, Richard Mwanjo. It is a distinct privilege to have you on board. And today, the discussion of the day is centered on whether the government of the day is really, literally walking the talk on the fight against corruption. And with me to dissect on that particular subject is none other than East Africa's renowned public scholar and Kenya's most sought-after political analyst. The first of his name, Amand Bon Manura. How are you doing today, sir?
Wonderful.
The annual prayer breakfast, fast approaching. Are you geared to attend it, at least to intercede on behalf of the nation?
I'm not an intercessor, and I've also told you I don't like pretenders.
Are you reducing that event to a gathering of hypocrites?
A gathering of pretenders. People who do all manner of evil and then go to pretend they are praying. What are you praying? The suffering we go through this country, those people gathered there will be responsible. The ones who will have stolen money meant for education. Our children are going to school barefoot, learning under trees. The pain every Kenyan is going through is occasioned by those people. They are the land grabbers. They have done everything that has kept Kenya poor, dirty third world country.
So
they are holding very expensive Bibles. I cannot go to such a place.
So the organizing committee should not extend an invite to you this time around?
No, that's not. It's a waste of time. Why would I go to such a... But if they give me, I'll send you.
To represent you?
Yeah, that's as usual.
Now that you've shed light on matters to do with people who are looting government funds meant to alleviate the suffering of Kenyans, and that is actually the center of our conversation today. And let's begin from one person who is also, by and large, the face of the government, that is Majority Leader Kimani Sudi, and his recent sentiments, and I will quote him. He says on matters to do with accountability, we are unrelenting and uncompromising. The Auditor's General report on Kiambu and National Points and Nairobi points to the sickening pilferage of public funds. This high-level corruption denies the people who elected us essential services at the altar of a few looting individuals. We shall not be cowed speaking out about these social ills. It's literally seconding the message that the government will fight those involved in graft, regardless of the office you hold in this country. And it begs the question, are we seeing finally the government sort of walking the talk on corruption?
How about he talks from the mountain instead of an anthill?
How so?
You see, Kimani Sudi could be talking about my friend Wamatangi. Maybe he's eyeing Wamatangi's seat. And maybe they have a design on Sakaja's job. Sakaja is not doing anything for Nairobi, but I mean, why Sakaja? Why Wamatangi? Why not other governors? Why not the national government? If the national government wants to stop wastage, they will just stop it. Because if you look at the design of our constitution, policy in all areas remains with Nairobi. National government. Policy for anything, all developed functions, policy is left in. So you can pull the rug from under the feet of all the governors. If governors are overemploying, government just needs to put up a policy about employment, and that is the end of the story. You deny governors the right to employ even a driver, like I've said many times. Is that right?
Sure.
So, to me, the problem is with national government.
Very well.
But the national government is obeying the scriptures. They have been really religious. It's obeying the scriptures. Remove the log from your eyes before you look at the speck in another guy's eye. So the government knows it is itself culpable of gross misuse of public resources. Why would they look in the direction of governors? So Kimani Sudi he just wants to harass Wamatangi.
Talking of which, a fortnight ago, we saw him defend the impeachment of Agriculture CS Linturi before the floor of the House of the National Assembly. And it begs the question, is he more into double standards on the fight against graft?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. If you are the leader of majority, and again, you see, you know, the problem with Kenyan leaders and Kenyans in general, first of all, we have received poor education. Our education has not produced people who can think and analyze situations. Secondly, we are so preoccupied with money. So preoccupied with money. We have no time even to understand the role of your office. If you are the leader of majority, you know, it's a political reward you've been given. But you can also understand how a parliamentary system works, how a presidential system works. What do majority leaders in American Senate do, and so on and so forth? If you are the speaker, Nancy Pelosi was there in the Congress. So they have no time even to understand the role of their offices because they are busy chasing money and cheap politics. Ishunga would have understood that leader of government, leader of majority is what we used to call leader of government in the House, which means it is the president in the House. It is government in the House. But of course now with our architecture, so that somebody thinks I don't understand, says I don't understand, both sides are government. So there's no government versus opposition. Our arrangement is there's a minority and majority. But I'm just saying, drawing parallel, it means you are the one who represent government, the president, if I may ask. So if people are casting doubts on a presidential appointee, you don't go to the House to defend that person. You give the House the chance to debate the issue, to canvass the other side. When you come in at the very tail end, if you must come in. Because it is the president at trial, let the people in the National Assembly discuss. You don't come out, because how if the graft is so obvious and at the end of the day he goes? What are you talking of? What are you saying of government itself and of the president?
It leaves an egg on their face?
Yeah. You have to be very careful what you say in defense of somebody accused of theft. You know, like for example, in other places, like I say, like you may see if there's an impeachment or a trial in Senate or America against a president or whoever it is, because there are always sorts of trials. They may not be trials, they may not be very publicized. In many of these serious jurisdictions, your side will stand with you. They will defend with you. And quite often, when the vote is taken, it's not about the issue at hand. It's about the numbers. But should it be about something like theft or misconduct, nobody will stand with you. The party will not stand with you. You cannot be taken before the floor of the House for stealing public funds and somebody stands to defend you.
It ceases to be a political issue before the floor of the House?
Yeah. It's not political. Nobody can side with you. So that's why I'm saying Kimani Sudi should take time to study, to understand his role. When somebody is accused of something like gross misconduct in terms of misuse of public resources, you cannot stand as government to defend him. You let other people prosecute the case. But if it is a political thing of a political nature, you stand with him. But a guy is in standing trial for misappropriation of public resources, and you stand to defend him, then you don't understand your role. You don't do that. You let people prosecute it. If you want to lobby, you lobby quietly. You don't stand in the floor of the House and want to hit the air with your fists.
But you are the same person who's gone on record saying the stars aligned for none other than Kimani Sudi in terms of his political future.
But
is he now soiling that?
But yeah, you see the gods may want to give you something, but you are wrestling against your gods. Is that right? Your star could be shining, but you are throwing mud at your star. Kimani Sudi is falling the trap which many people in his position always fall in. First, you allow power to overwhelm you. Okay? When power overwhelms you, you enter the stage of what we call impunity. Advanced impunity makes you think you are a god. That's the path people like Ishungu are traveling. Excess impunity. So then it destroys your future. Because there's something about leadership, and it's to do with humility. If you study Ruto, he was never far away from humility. Him and humility were one and the same.
They will go in the same sentence?
Yes, humility. mtoto ya mtu mdogo, baba yangu hajulikani. You know, like that. So arrogance, which is bred by impunity, is what is going to consume Kimani Ichung'wah. He must guard against it. It's not too late.
It is not.
Because I have said he has a very promising future. But if you want to antagonize everybody around you, let him face Wamatangi in 2027. Atapata kichapo cha mbwa.
It won't be a walkover for Ichung'wah?
Hey, my friend, he will be beaten so badly he will never talk again.
Do you then share the same thought with Ndegwa Njiru, who believes for Kimani Ichung'wah is suffering from juvenile excitement that came with the new office and power?
That's what I'm saying. If you are not careful with power and the resources, if you get a lot of money, if you get a lot of power, it is very easy. It's very easy for you to be overwhelmed. Power can overwhelm you. Money can overwhelm you. And you can get overexcited. Then you enter the impunity stage,
Very well.
which then will destroy you.
Let's advance this conversation. And part of what is termed as unrelenting and compromising fight by the government against graft, do you then consider the recent attempt, not even attempt, move by EACC to put charges against former governors Ukur Yatani, who was also the treasury chief, and Murang'a, former governor for Murang'a, Mwangi Iria, part of that spirited fight against graft? Do you consider that?
Let me tell you something. The moment you are seen to be targeting one or two individuals, you are lost. And this is what Uhuru Kenyatta was accused of. Selective targeting of certain governors to scare them into supporting him, Raila, as opposed to Ruto. The moment you are seen to be selective, you can't go far. So why you call him Ukuru or what?
Yeah.
Why this Ukuru guy and why Mwangi area? We know all these governors. I'm using the word all very carefully. I'm not saying 100%. I'm saying it's very difficult to find a governor who has not stolen. You may find one or two. But all these governors are thieves, and we know it. They have stolen resources. If we were serious, all of them will go to jail. And I argued in the first term, I said, if you want devolution to succeed, let us jail at least 10 governors. Then the ones currently stealing will not be stealing. The first time governors went into a stealing and looting spree and let anybody come and check. Ordinary people who had just been ordinary like Manyora, but lucky to get that job. People could hardly afford to buy a house in Buruburu. All of a sudden had homes in Karen. Kwani hiyo pesa litoka wapi?
The same way to be custodians of
If
public
you want
resources?
to jail governors, Karen and pass, just walk to Karen. Where hii nyumba ulinunua namna gani, pita hapa, ingia kwa hii Land Rover. They are so stupid. They were stealing so foolishly. You don't even need anything. You don't need EACC. Where hii Karen hii, iko magari ngapi hapa? Mercedes, what? Magari leta pesa litoa wapi? Ndani. All of them, you'll jail them. So unless you jail the governors, devolution will never succeed. So for you to come up and want us to be excited about Ukuru Yatani and Mwangi area, we are not children. We will not be excited. It is selective.
Selective administration of justice.
Yeah, why? Why are they those two? Just put these governors in. Let us talk when 10 of them are already in a committee. Wanakula maharage. Then we can begin pursuing others. But 10 quick, low-lying fruits. Wale raisi tu, chukua 5, 10, weka ndani. We have seen governors. It has been in public domain, revealed by EACC, revealed in court, revealed in the media. Mtu anachukua milioni 400 anaweka kwa account ya mtoto yake. Mtu anachukua milioni 100 ngapi anaweka kwa account ya bibi yake. So why are those people are still working? We are jokers as a country. So nobody want to get excited about arresting Ukuru Yatani and
Mwangi or Paranya, because
that is selective. Sema tu, we are serious. We want devolution to work because it's a good thing, almost the best thing that could happen to us, although it was structured badly. Wacha tuweke governor 10 waende kula maharage in 1 week. Just 1 week. The way they were stealing, you don't need more than a week to prosecute them. No. Until these smart lawyers, wache kwa washenzi kabisa. Huyu mtu alichukua hii pesa ya county, it is transferred to the wife's account. This is not the girlfriend, this is the wife. And this is a marriage certificate. Hot air, where is the air? What was supplied? Air.
Procurement chief.
But this country is a joker. You know, remember during KEMSA,
Sure.
some girl said she was just passing around KEMSA and she was told, kuja, uko na kampuni, yeah. Ebu, say unataka kusupply. Kampuni ya furniture lakini unataka kusupply.
Must. But
when I was asking, this money, do you know? I said, I don't know how it came to my account. But she's still walking free. With the bling in the ear and the nose, what? And the people who put that money in the account, they are still enjoying. They're living in the house that they bought. So we are not serious people. Let's just accept we are not serious people. And we are not the first people. And we are not the only ones. There are many people like us in the world who are not serious with their lives.
And are those people the Singapores of this nation?
No, of course you can't. That's another dream. To be a Singapore, you must be a serious nation with serious leaders.
Corruption has no place in Singapore?
No, it can be there, but not. Ours is not corruption. Corruption can be in Singapore, but you cannot have theft. This is just theft, raw theft. Actually, just cheap theft. Mtu anachukua tu pesa ya county na kumwaka kwa account ya girlfriend.
Or Olympics.
Imagine.
Olympics money.
Imagine. Mtu anatoka hapa anaenda Olympics anaweka girlfriend karibu 10 kwa team. Mpaka athletes wenyewe wanabaki hapa. A guy is supposed to be competing tomorrow but he's still in Kenya. His place was taken by some minister's girlfriend. You know, we are jokers.
Haman.
This country requires somebody like me to be president.
Or at least Jimmy Wanjigi.
No, those ones they are the same people. Just somebody, an outsider like me. Anakuja, within 6 months, nimetoa watu wadogo kwa jela because I need space.
But these are the same
I
people.
just go to committee and say how many people should. I want 3/4 of the inmates to go home and I address them. Mukirudi nyumbani mambo ya kuiba kuku mwache. Go and look for money. Don't go and steal chicken.
Time for the big thieves.
Nikitoka hapo wanaanza kuingia wawezi all of them.
But these are the same people you need to oil your campaigns. It has happened in Kenya before.
Kenyans are going to get to a point they will look for a man like me and make president. That's the only salvation. But if they continue the way they are continuing, they will continue suffering.
But they say where there is will, there is way. Do you consider that we have zero political will to fight against graft, and that's why we are where we are?
That's where the problem is. I have told you this. These are good people. Uhuru Kenyatta is a good person. Ruto is good. They are very good people. Mwai Kibaki, Kenyatta, they were very good people. They have done so much for this country. People who blame Moi, I tell them, okay, you can blame him. But when Moi was president of this country, other countries were collapsing. But he kept us as one nation. When Kenyatta, you say Kenyatta was a tribalist and everything. But when he was there, other countries were collapsing. But he kept our country together. These are very good people. And we must always put them in history. There must be somewhere in history where we say they were very good presidents. But they are not the people to transform the country.
Talking matters to do with people history should remember and put in its good pages. Do you consider the control of budget and also the Auditor General's office people whom there is need for us to load their efforts in flagging dubious transactions and all that?
They are doing a good job. They are doing a good job. But you see, it is just music. It is just, those are just like games. It really means nothing. It actually means very little. In any case, when the auditor is giving you a report, is it the report for last year? Reports of things that happened a couple of years ago. They may say they don't have the capacity. We need to make those reports current. So the Auditor General ought to be dealing with the reports of the financial year 2022-2023.
Zero backlog.
Yeah. But this is just a game. People are just joking. These things have been said by all Auditor Generals. All of them have told us shocking things.
Control of budget.
Yeah. Control of budget, of course, is a new arrangement with the new constitution. It wasn't there before. But the control of budget, from the inception, they have been saying all these things.
All these reports, questionable.
But even them, they are not very sincere because they allow counties to draw money when they actually have the power to question.
The spending.
Yeah. So nobody is serious in this country. But we are a good country. We are a country of happy people with good leadership. We are a God-fearing country. Many of us will go to heaven, but we are not a serious country. That one we are not.
Thank you for dropping the conversation about the church. And the church, and by extension, the civil society has a role to play in speaking against corruption. And this far, would you laud the efforts of the church of today? Talk of voices like Anthony Muheria, Ole Sapit. Have they made what you consider formidable strides this far?
You know, a person of my age, because I was there when the church was a really voice for the people.
You were there?
I was there. I was there when people like Alexander Muge were there. I was there when Okulu was there. Ndingi Mwana Nzengi, David Gitari, Reverend Njenga of All Saints Cathedral.
Those were the voices?
Timothy Njoya. I was there when the church was the voice of the people. But I was also there when the church got compromised. When the church went to bed with the state. When the church was consumed with tribalism. I was there. So you cannot ask me to get excited about a church that has compromised itself. That has been consumed with tribalism, by tribalism.
Meetings.
Those of us who saw Alexander Muge, God rest his soul. Those of us who saw Okulu, Ndingi Mwana Nzengi, people who spoke to power.
Father Kaisa, perhaps?
Yes, we were there. We saw Kinanjoya being beaten by my friend Rigathi. Those are people who spoke for church. Talking about civil society. We were there when civil society took measures, said things that put them at great risk when the detention laws were still in force. And they were detained. We were there when writers, lecturers, professors, the intelligentsia, we were there when they risked it all, and some of them went to exile, when they were detained and jailed. So you cannot talk about civil society today. I was there when civil society forced Moi to do certain things, like the IPPG of 1997. I witnessed civil society pushing Moi to accept to a constitutional changes. SKRC, what is CKRC? Yashpal Guy and the rest. Bombers. I was there when civil society pushed more in those directions. So you cannot talk about civil society that has been compromised today. Civil society, the moment Kibaki took power, everybody became a Kikuyu. They were consumed by tribalism.
Political activists of
civil
that time?
Civil society fighters were given jobs in the judiciary where, and they forgot we were fighting. But Michuki put it very clear. God rest his soul in peace. He said, it's more we were fighting. Juggling a liver is not easy. So there's no civil society.
And you mentioned that the church of the day...
And there's no church.
Church
is there to do what it does. I have no problem with it. But the church that can stand with the people, the church that is there for the flock. Because again, if you read the Holy Scriptures across religions, if you read the Holy Scriptures well, it is not true that we should suffer down here so that we go to some special place in heaven. No. God desires that human beings live well, even as they set on the journey to heaven. If there is heaven, some religions don't believe that, whatever that is. Because not all religions believe some people we are headed to heaven. You know, they are like the Buddhists believe you just take different bodies. Yeah. If you are a good person, you may become just a nice cow for milking in another world, in your next phase. If you are like Ryan here, who is not a good person, you may become a dog. You know, so...
Reincarnation.
Yeah. So, but basically the idea that people should suffer here because there's a better world, no religion says that. If you read the scriptures, you read religious teachings and what have you, it is desired that people live well. And that's why God punished some kings for stepping on his people. And that's why it's written in the Bible. You that I give leadership, take care of my people. Down here. When they come up there, leave them to me. But when they are here, take good care of them.
Let them be shepherds, good shepherds.
So the church has a role to ensure without even going into the liberation theology of Latin America. The church should ensure that the people live as comfortable as is possible in the circumstances in which they live. And the church should ensure no human being oppresses people who have been put in this world by God. But when the church goes to bed with the government, when the church allows tribalism to stop them from doing what they ought to do in order to make life bearable for the flock, then the church has failed.
And do you think part of the of looted public resources at times ends up in the pulpit in Kenya?
Not sometimes. Many of the church leaders live lavish lives, and most of them we saw in the last election. They were bought nice cars and everything. It was in public domain.
Oiled by looted money?
Of course, they know it. Wanaipangusa tu kidogo wanaweka kwa mfuko.
There you have it. From Herman Bon Manura, we've been talking matters to do with the fight against corruption in Kenya and whether the government is literally walking the talk with regards to that particular subject. Time now for Fan of the Week. It is none other than this amazing gentleman from Washington, D.C., Job Ombati.
Job Ombati from Washington, D.C. Wonderful. It's a good guy.
Very well.
We are grateful.
Many are requesting that you also make a tour of the U.S.
Yeah, they have been asking me. I think I will. Last time I almost went. I hate traveling, but I almost went, then the corona happened. So this time I'll think about it.
Will you tag me along?
Of course. Of course, I need an assistant who is able like you.
All right, there you have it. Until next time on Business Glide, it's always a pleasure to have you on board. Do tune in to our other editions on the channel with Jadiel Kabir, Evans Okinyi, and also the solo production by Herman Manyora that comes to you every Saturday. Make sure you don't miss out on that insightful coverage that we normally do here as a channel. Until next time, God bless. Enjoy the rest of your viewing.